There we fucking go, Bleach. This is the type of progression I want to see. Let's go. My sword finally broke. So this chapter took the pacing of Bleach and just ran full speed ahead regarding a lot of the events, because it just felt like, you know, for a long time we were just going through these 1v1s, and this chapter just said, fuck the 1v1s, we're moving forward tremendously. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if some of the events in this chapter, and, you know, what's been building up the past 2 or 3 chapters, is a result of Bleach's ranking, because at the end of the day, it's a business, and if some of you don't know, Bleach does horrible in the rankings. It does always bottom, you know, bottom 5 most of the time, and I wouldn't be surprised if they're putting the pressure on Kubo. Yo, you need to do something to raise them rankings, and these 1v1s just haven't been cutting the mustard. So, unfortunately, it seems as though events like Bazz-B versus Shinji and Na following Renji, it seems like those things are going to be tossed out the window, which is unfortunate, but just what the fuck happened, because prior to this, I think Kubo honestly was just going to continue with these 1v1s. It was eventually going to be Renji versus Na, and we were going to get like a full-on Shinji versus Bazz-B, but it was just basically tossed out the window, which is very unfortunate, and I don't like that at all. But at least, first of all, I want to, you know, hear what the fuck happened to Shinji. Where is Shinji? Because we don't even see him. Did Bazz-B just make light work of him? And also, what made Na change his mind from following Renji to going after Ichigo? Because then we see Renji in this chapter. So, definitely, if Kubo did do that, because, you know, just Bleach is doing so bad in the rankings, because it doesn't make sense otherwise. Like, why the fuck would he just randomly skip these things that he had previously set up? Give us a little bit of an explanation what changed things, story-wise at the very least. So, this chapter starts off and is really making me wonder, what is Bach's endgame? Like, he already pretty much destroyed the Soul Society for the most part. He killed Captain Yamamoto. So, for the most part, some of his goal has already been accomplished. But judging from what we know, that he's like this divine being and all the powers that he has, Bach, he seems a little bit more than just, you know, the standard villain, or even Aizen for that matter, because he seems like he has more of a gift to him than Aizen, who was just like, you know, some very smart guy. This guy actually has some, like, prophetic powers, so to speak. So it really makes me wonder, what is his ultimate goal, when he basically says in this chapter he wants to get to the Zero Division, which we haven't heard somebody say that in a while. And it's like, first of all, do you really think you can handle the Zero Division? Because these Shinigamis you've been facing all along, like, no, they're on a whole different level. But basically, you know, he's going to use the cloth, which it makes me wonder, how does he know that the cloth on Ichigo is the key to the Zero Division? And also, how the hell would he know that it takes like 6,000 seconds for the barriers to be replaced or restored, so that way there's no entrance to there? It could be that Bach has some sort of connection to the Zero Division. What we thought with other characters, maybe he could be related to the, you know, Soul King. Maybe he could be the Soul King's brother. Maybe he's the former Soul King. Who the hell knows? Because how the hell would he know a lot of these things? So I would love an explanation as to how he knew these things, but it's starting to show more of his motive, what he wants to do. Does he want to just become God? Does Bach just wants to get rid of the Soul King, get rid of the divisions, everything? I just want to become God. Does he just want to destroy everything in existence? It's really starting to make me question, what the fuck is Bach's endgame? But just the progression of this chapter, it went from like, okay, so we have all these third ridders are going to jump Ichigo, which they did, and Ichigo was holding his own for the most part, which the Bach is going to be the final villain. He's going to just be the strong monster. You need somebody that's going to counter him, especially Ichigo that just came from the Zero Division. And while obviously the Stern Ritter are no, you know, walk in the park, I felt like Ichigo, for the most part, should have at least taken out like 2 or 3 of them in that struggle before it got broken up. And then, you know, you have Renji and the rest of these people showing up, Byakuya, which I'm actually really fucking excited about this fight, assuming that it doesn't get interrupted with whatever Bach is planning. But I think that it should have been a little bit better of a display of Ichigo, because for the most part it seems like they might have been able to take him. I know it's 8 on 1. I know it's 4 fucking Stern Ritter sluts, and then we have Na, that irrelevant fuck. You know, we have a few different Stern Ritter there. We have 8 of them. But I just would have liked at least if he would have took out 1 or 2 of them. Or like when he fought Candace would have been, you know, catnip on the floor, so to speak. So definitely that was one of the things. It's kind of like, how is Ichigo going to contend with Bach unless Bach is going to get even further power up, or Ichigo is holding back? And I get it. At the end of the day, 8 versus 1, it's a fucking tough situation. But Ichigo came from the Zero Division, and Ichigo, at this particular point, he could possibly be even stronger than his Dangai form. I mean, at the end of the day, Kyoraku, which, by the way, where the fuck is he, basically said that Ichigo, after, you know, the events of what's going to happen, the training that he's going to get, the progression that he's going to get, he probably won't even be able to walk around in the human world. He probably just start evaporating people, so he might never be able to return in general. So I'm guessing either it's just that there was 8, or the fight was just getting started. And Ichigo was possibly holding back as well because, again, in the previous fight with Candace, he was kind of like, you know, move out the way, what are you doing? And then after things getting, you know, knocked around a million times, it seems as though we finally have a full-on, it's going to be like a 6v8. It's basically Byakuya, Rukia, Renji, Yumichika, Ikaku, and Hisagi versus the 8 Stern Ritter, which I'm curious to see how things are going to go. Byakuya, he was already a monster, and him coming back from the Zero Division, he's just going to be completely, you know, powered the fuck up. So it's going to be interesting to see him go, you know, to work, so to speak. And again, it makes me wonder, like, how are these Stern Ritter going to be able to keep up with some of these people that came back from the Zero Division? Like Renji, Rukia, and Byakuya, those 3, I think, probably could have done this by themselves. According to the way we've been seeing the display of their power from them going to the Zero Division. Rukia's a little injured, so maybe not Rukia necessarily. Maybe like Yumichika and Ikaku and the rest could make up for them, you know, her being a little bit injured. But for the most part, it was like, I'm starting to wonder regarding the power balance. Like, the Stern Ritter, they're strong, but the Zero Division, from what we've seen, you know, Renji was able to take out Masked and Masculine, not with complete ease, but he was able to take them out for the most part, and likewise with Az now with Rukia. So I'm just curious what's up with the power. But then Ichigo is charging towards Bach, and in all honesty, the progression in this chapter, it just went from like a snail's pace to, and again, it's not saying that it's excusable to skip fights, because it just doesn't make sense. We were just about to see Shinji versus Baz B, but I like where this is going, because it seems like Kubo's abandoning the 1v1 approach, and he's going to have either, we're going to go straight to a Soul Division arc now, where Bach is going to finally enter, because with 6,000 seconds, I think Bach can do it. And the thing is, the way he's talking, like, Ichigo is going to be the thing that guides me to the light as well. Is he going to, like, use Ichigo? Is he going to have some sort of, like, plan? I'm sure he has everything mapped out. Bach ain't no fucking idiot. He seems like a war general. Because I'm sure he doesn't want to go to the Zero Division and get his ass whipped. Maybe he's going to use Ichigo. Maybe he's going to have some way of converting Ichigo to his side, possibly. Or he's going to stall Ichigo while him and Hasworld, or him by himself, goes into the Zero Division. Can Bach keep up with a lot of these people? It's like, there's a lot of questions. First of all, I don't know if Bach is ready at this particular point to go to the Zero Division, either by himself or with Hasworld and Uryu, or, you know, whatever the case may be, and stop all of the Zero Division and kill the Soul King. So a lot of questions, definitely, but overall, very good chapter. This is probably, if not the best, and top 3 best chapters of Bleach this year, because it just went full forward. Ichigo's heading towards Bach. Bach has a plan to get to the Zero Division, to the Soul Palace, and things is looking really grim. And then we got to set up with a 6 versus 8 with some of my favorite characters. So I'm really excited overall. I'm giving this one an 8 out of 10. Very good chapter for Bleach. One of the best this year. Is up there with, like, well, no, okay, it's not the best. I forgot. We had a couple of pretty awesome chapters. Zaraki getting a Shikai, and Rukia getting her Bankai. So, again, top 3, top 5. Not bad. But let me know what you guys think. First of all, with Bach saying, you know, regarding the Zero Division, and he could use this cloth and everything. First of all, how does Bach know about this cloth in the 6,000 seconds? You think he has a connection to the Soul King and the Soul Palace? Also, what do you think Bach is going to do? Is Bach ready to invade the Soul Palace and fight all these people? Or is he going to use Ichigo somehow? Maybe he's going to have a way of absorbing Ichigo? And just overall thoughts of this chapter. What do you think regarding Kubo kind of seemingly abandoning the 1v1 approach that he had previously set up, to now going full forward, possibly a whole different type of feel with the next upcoming arc? I mean, you know, we're in the 1,000-year Blood War saga, but I'm referring to the mini arcs that we've been going through. And just overall thoughts of the chapter. Again, I really enjoyed this chapter, and I felt like it just did a lot of things. It progressed the story, and is making Bach's motive slowly become a little bit more clearer. That's all I have for this review. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed, you can do so as well. That'd be awesome. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day.